So that's why most likely I'm not having an audio output. Okay, so let's see if that sounds good there. Back to default because it seems like that is turned off. Okay, so let's see if that sounds good there. Wow. Is this when people go through the stream? Back to default because it seems like that is turned off. Okay, so let's see if that sounds good there. Okay, I'm here myself, so not too bad. Wow. Is this when people go through the stream? Back to default because it seems like that is turned off. Okay, so let's see if that sounds good there. Oh, we're reverbing. Cool, that's not fun. Okay, I'm here myself, so not too bad. Wow. Is this when people go through the stream? Back to default because it seems like that is turned off. I need to turn this audio down. Okay, okay, I think we're good here, right? Let's see what the mixture capture audio output is. Pretty okay. Let that expose down. That means the input and output should be differently, and that means I'll hear that. Cool. Whee. Okay, I know what I'm doing, kind of, kind of. Right? So then, if that's what you guys see on the user side, if I go over, if I had to add. Source will be same source. So now we're seeing this. Let me just make sure that I can hear that on my end here. I can't hear shit. Of course I can't hear shit. Okay. So back to here. Source will be same source. So now we're seeing this. Let me just make sure that I can hear that on my end here. I can't hear shit. Of course I can't hear shit. Okay. So back to here. Source will be same source. So now we're seeing this. Let me just make sure that I can hear that on my end here. Okay, well that was a different thing that I thought was gonna happen. Why am I doing things? Okay. As long as the audio output captures here, that means we're good. Sample reading audio output here is not tinning, so likely we can go on to the topic of the issue, which is I need a bloody nap. And then let's see if that works there pretty well. Good. Sample reading audio output here is not tinning, so. Okay, so that works pretty nicely. Um, right now I'm basically just trying to make sure everything looks good on my bloody end. Alright. Whew, I hate content creation. Uh, welcome to stream. That was all setup and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do that again. um, let me know if anything dumb happens. But back to actual live streaming and Crunchyroll. The purpose I'm here. Crunchyroll makes me mad. I'm about to cancel my subscription. They're hiking their price again, so they're raising their price. And yes, now we're at the actual part of this. We talk about anime. Anime. So I just kind of pulled this up. Streaming service Crunchyroll rises prices weeks after killing its free tier. Listen, Crunchyroll. I don't know your economics, but when you got rid of your free tier, you probably just ruined everything. Right? Respective, of course. Why I say that is respective, of course. That was the lifeblood of so many fans, and you just ruined it. So let's go back to this. This is by rstechnica.com. Dash gadget, blah, 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 blah. Um, uh, so the price hikes in this, and this was published in February 2nd, 2026, blah, 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 with a bunch of comments. And I'll save this Reddit up here that we'll check in a minute. Uh, but Crunchyroll is one of the most popular streaming service, right? And so going over some key ones, uh, over the past 6 months, services raised prices. So 25%, a quarter of prices is too much. It just is. I'm sorry. 25%, too much. So Sony, being the parent company, bought uh, Crunchyroll from AT&T in 2020, 2020. Of course, during that period of time, you know, anime became for everybody instead of nerds. So it's kind of talking about the finances here. We had paid and unpaid, so that ratio is not the greatest, right? Honestly, I think they could have done better on their ads and ads marketing because they have a big user base, right? But they got greedy, and now they're getting too greedy because their monthly subscriptions, my monthly subscription, the lowest end was actually like $8. It was like $7.99. Loved it, loved it. Gas, all gas, no breaks. And then it didn't take too long. I'd say they had Funimation. Funimation was great. I remember watching it. Funimation. So, a little side note, guys. I'm old, like proper old. Why did I hit that button? I need to stop hitting buttons. Okay, never mind that. I am proper old. So yeah. I wonder if there's a hotkey. Oh, I can make hotkeys. I just realized I can make hotkeys. Um, sorry about that. The reason I say all that good stuff is, of course, I end up hitting a badger. Uh, Growing up, I had the Google TV box when they just instead of having Roku's, it was basically a computer that you plugged into your TV. And I watched so much. Back then, it was kind of ish legal. Um, so much fairy tale on YouTube and what's it called Nejima, which was like a I was too young to watch this. I should not have watched it, but YouTube did not care. Sorry, YouTube. I'm shaming you, but you didn't care. And yeah, back then the regulations were different. Right. So that's a story time. But that was kind of my foray into BSS. Which is like the thousands. What is it? Never mind that. I try to talk and I blabber all the time. So let's get back to the point. I'm very old in the anime scene. Very, very old. And then let's try and get back to these here. Uh, after being acquired by Sony, it so there was some controversial changes to this company. Funimation. So Funimation was bought in 2017, a terrible year for a lot of people. And then what did Sony do? So many ships erased libraries, right? Why? And so when you remove all these free trials, uh, you get some problems, right? One, by December, basically, and the year, beginning this year, 25, all free options are gone. And if you know the internet, nothing's free. Nothing is free, right? Uh, and so, in my opinion, what they were trying to do was corner the market. Let me make sure I actually have some audio on this baby right here. Cool. Um, wow, that audio issue at the beginning was terrible. They Crunchyroll has what I would consider a quasi monopoly on the system because I want to support the anime industry by watching unlicensed products. But there aren't good enough alternatives to push Crunchyroll to choose to give us a good price and a good value or any reason for them to keep their value. Right? And what am I saying there? If I need food and the only store in 100 miles from me is selling the only thing that will keep me alive, food, at 100 times the price of anywhere else, I'm still going to pay for it because I'm not going to steal stuff, right? Now, at a certain point, I can't pay for that product anymore. And so, while it is legally wrong, morally wrong, I think some people will say that it is so outrageous that it's now justified to just take it, right? I don't agree with that sentiment at all. I understand it. Did I, in the past, I don't know what the statute of limitation on this, use Google Anime, Kiss Anime, like the little ones? Yes, I did. I'm not endorsing them. One, because you can't verify a lot of stuff. The actual people in Japan aren't making their monies, right? And I want to encourage more, better, and higher, just general higher quality providers of a source that I love. Right? I'm so sorry for diversion there. Um, and then yeah, it gets more expensive. Think about this like the insulin problem. When there was only one, let me get some coffee. See, I like to blab. I need to figure out how to talk a little slower. Like most streamers don't know how to. So everything increases in price because from the bottom up production, distribution, everything gets more expensive. Inflation is a natural part of an economy at like 1 to 3%. Once it gets above that, it starts harming the economy because the entire economy in a scale cannot grow with production buying power, which is the ability to buy things. And that's what we're seeing here. Because $8 is something you would spend on a McDonald's trip, which McDonald's is too expensive. So, you know, going to McDonald's once makes sense to me. So it went up the fan, which was the cheapest plan. You basically get anime. That's it, $8 a month to $10, right? Yeah. So it looks like their highest one, at least monetarily, was Ultra, which is 18. I mean, I do Sips Club for we call it Sips Club for Panera, which is about 14 a month, and it's worth it to me. I get coffee once a day before I head to work every day instead of getting Starbucks, which two Starbucks trips equals that, and instead I get 30 days worth of coffee, and I don't need that sugar. I make that work for me financially. In this sense, I'm wasting money. I honestly, I'm not working. I'm not building anything while I'm sitting down and watching anime. I don't see a reason to, you know, every month be pigeonholed into $10 because I have the cheapest plan for something I probably only watch 3, 4 times. At that point, if I could, I'd buy the whole series after seeing the reviews and own it. on disc, by the way. That's a total different thing, but on disc. Because honestly, I'd wait I'd wait the 3 4 months until the season's over, buy it on disc. I saved up 30 to 40 bucks. Not too bad, and I'll have it forever. I'm willing to pay even more than the 40 bucks if it is like 100, because at that point I saved half, and I have it forever instead of in that moment. Honestly, owning physical media is the way to go currently, and it looks like they're stopping to print them. It's scary, but it is, right? So we're gonna see even higher prices, which is gonna be 12. Listen, I talk about prices. Let's also talk about this next thing because right, um, we've all seen we talk about that a little too much here. Uh, so along with limiting the free tier, and so it rivals Netflix and live shows, blah blah. So I'm dyslexic, by the way. Without this free tier, and the fact that it's $12 for anime centric stuff, for the die-hard fan, I can see this being still worth it. But a lot of these titles are also on Netflix. Netflix has a whole bunch of other stuff that is I don't really care for honestly at all, but some of it is good. In truth, I would most likely drop Crunchyroll to get Netflix because all the titles I actually care about happen to also be posted on there. I don't watch every episode from every season anymore. I'm too old. It feels too creepy to do so, and I've aged out of certain genres. Honestly, the high school ones I can't do it. Just it feels weird being almost 30 watching a high schooler do weird stuff. I was saying when people thought we were creepy, but like I see, I can see a middle schooler or high schooler watching that stuff, right? Because they're looking at people their own age, like they would, lust after their other students. You know how high schoolers are, hormonal. So I understand that, right? Once you get to a point when there's a weird morality between why you're attracted to somebody in high school, then I had to start stepping back from those episodes because I'm gonna get in trouble here. I don't think I'm attracted to high schoolers. Wow, that's crazy, right? Somebody on the internet said they're not attracted to underage people. You won't find me on that list. But what I'm trying to say is, well, they try their hardest to portray somebody as objectively attractive in the sense of proportions and other things. The psychological disconnect is just too much for me to feel okay about watching those shows. Be like, ew, this is weird, right? So I had to step away at my age and watch more things like Says to Be a Hero, which is a one I currently like. What's another one's happening right now? The Water Magician's really good. I don't think it's getting this season right now. Yeah, I like the what they call seinen, which are the like more adult ones. Not that kind, but I mean like Vinland Saga, Guts are more for me now. Back to us. uh, where was I? Also, I had to mention that post 2020, anime's uh, distribution has increased dramatically, and so let's look at the this subscriber grew from basically tripled subscriber count so sorry from 2020 from 2012 to 2024 Crunchyroll subscriber count grew from 5 million to over 15 million, and so that is a large base of people. It is. Now let's see what we can estimate. Crunchy's profit margin was 8%, which profit margin at 8% is okay. It's actually pretty nice. If you didn't know this, the profit margin on like 8% compared to a grocery store, a grocery store's profit margin is about, if they're good, 1%. So of all revenue in so of all sales that equate to revenue, their profit margin from total cost to total revenue leaves them about 1% profit margin. If you do this, 1 to 2, honestly. So being at that point is pretty good. Digital digital assets typically have a higher profit margin than physical assets right now. Crunchyroll helped offset 20% a 20% year-over-year drop in operating income for utilities picture segments. What's really cool. Uh, so it looks like the type about Sony in itself and their stuff's not doing well, so they're offsetting it. I mean, that is true, right? So it says silver lining in anime streaming uh, views and Crunchyroll is showing that a niche service can scale and profit. When it does, it adds new experiences for their interest, and especially. So yeah, as Crunchyroll had increased in popularity, it had also moved the possibility of a service like that to astronomical senses, right? The That period of time around 2020, I don't know if we still have this buzzword and stuff like it's regulated, like pandemic, had essentially ushered in a new digital age. And so I think that's kind of what's happening here. Now, let me go over to this because while the price is increasing, we also have another problem. So, Crunchyroll has changed their video quality settings, leading to significant worse quality. So, I've noticed this myself. Their subtitles are. Let me just switch over to talk generally nicely. So, yeah, their subtitles are terrible. So, I've noticed this myself. Okay, checking the audio again. Their subtitles are honestly horrible. It's disgusting. I hate them. Right? And so, looking at that, how would I say? I can't believe I'm actually streaming right now. I don't know. Coffee. I will load a. Because this is such bad quality, and I have new devices, old devices, several different style devices, uh, newest iPhones, old iPhones, newest tablets, old tablets, computers, operating systems, smart TVs, food devices. It is undeniably clear that they do not asynchronously update their subtitles, which means that all devices get a push for an update. It's also is on the user side. There's a lot of bugs that aren't being fixed. Um, there's missing complete entire languages. Like there was one that was released only in Spanish. I was watching in English. It was like English semi class, like just English only first, and for some reason it was only Spanish. I had to wait a whole week to get the English drop. Imagine this: when Solo Levelings come out, you get the Bureau fight, and all you get is just Drachen Deutsch, right? Just German. Now, German dubbed in some places is pretty nice. I speak a little German, but I don't think you want some Daddy Jinwoo. How do I say that? In just German, where you're trying to watch the cool fight, right? Or whatever Arise is happening, right? So that was one issue I've experienced, and I'm gonna go back to that uh, in a second. But How can you expect people to enjoy your products when all you do is raise the price and lower the quality? Just saying, right? All you're doing is just making it worse and worse and possibly worse. Oof, man, work. So I'm gonna go back to this over here. Yeah. So like you said, for the quality. Um, so people say mobile's working. ReZero. Uh, ReZero is a popular show if you're not aware of that. It's actually insanely huge. I can uh, press. Okay, handbrake. That is. Yeah, I wouldn't compress it with that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I don't use Reddit, by the way. I don't even have my account in here. Uh, so what's happening is, and I think this. Let me see how many replies this got. I don't. Uh, yeah, it's got upvotes and like 100 comments. Not a big post, right? Don't get me started on them getting rid of the most. Yeah, so this user experience is bad, right? Um, Recently updated on the front page. I'm honestly going to cancel after this video. There's stream. You have UX designers. You know what those are. I see new episode section, or is it something different? They'll talk about how much of a terrible. Which I would I wouldn't use my queue as often as you think, because if I knew I only had one season, it was kind of something I was looking at, I would just keep watching on the new episode coming out. Personally, myself. So video encoding is an issue. Yeah, yeah. So not only that, so what is called bit rates and drops in encoding. Essentially, when you upload, download, and all this good stuff. Long story short, somebody's gonna come in here and be like, "I'm actually your video and audio quality drops because you have either drop frames, drop bits, corruption, or some degradation of the transmitted media." Right? I've noticed it was slower sometimes. Honestly, I see that. Right? Is Crunchyroll slower for some people? I swear it used to be faster. Last week, right? It is so inconsistent. Right? And here's the thing: while I'm not going to advocate for this, I'm going to compare this. Crunchyroll as a paid service is far and wide worse of a service than pirating would be, right? It is far better of a service to pirate something currently than anything else. I would honestly say that Crunchyroll ended that era, and now they're actually the cause of ushering it back in, and they need to be careful because I do not want to see the industry regress. I want to see people get paid for their works, right? I want to see all that great stuff. And when you have just, I googled this 5 minutes. It didn't take me long. Uh, Testing the layout and control. It's not a public thing. Where was UI? Uh, I don't want to read all that dyslexia and good stuff. What's Nino Nico? Wait, F Crunchyroll switch to Nico faster, update and cheaper. Yeah, So there's a compare. Okay, so this is probably a comparison site. Site. This site link is an image comparison site. Clicking. So what's this? I just didn't even know how these things work. Okay, blah 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 blah. Uh, so it's asking for this field. So it's gonna be a compression link here. Yeah, I'm gonna inspect that. I don't trust that. So just look at how much people care about this, right? Um, and so when you have such a dominant presence as Crunchyroll, let's go to our Crunchyroll. Let's push around, right? Just go straight to the Reddit for Crunchyroll. Oh, great! First thing I have is how do you fix this, right? First thing I pull up. There you go, right? Love your streams, but the listen, Crunchyroll. If you can act like Steam when our accounts get hacked, you might have us back a bit. Yeah, vibe coding, but definitely. I bet there's a lot of honestly. I think that's probably what's happening. In order to lower costs, a lot of these issues are becoming because they have people who are not developers or you know any sort of coding knowledge doing this stuff, and it's just not working. Yeah. And by the way, this is I didn't look up native. I simply went to our Crunchyroll, right? Our Crunchy, and nothing positive. It's like, oh, I love this. Oh no, anyone's looking forward to this? Finally, right? Let's see how positive this is. Please, let it be positive. Okay, so one positive. It's the internet. It's not always gonna be positive, right? Um, let's go back here. Uh, very cool false advertising here. Oh, I did hear about this. So, uh, Crunchyroll did. So, if you didn't know this, because I work in data, by the way, Crunchyroll had disclose. Let me talk to you directly because I think it's important. Let me move this around. Again, getting used to this thing. Uh, so Crunchyroll had uh, released third-party data, released your data to third parties. Now, due to data protection acts, due to the fact that we have our accounts based in America, we have certain expectations upon data, right? That means that these expectations are in reference to data protection actions and data utilizations. When you have unrestricted data, this becomes a very big issue because data is, well, the future of everything. It's honestly everything. And honestly, where do you go from here? Right? The only thing you can really do is, I feel like I'm staring directly into your soul right now, is do a lawsuit, right? It already happened, your viewing habits. Now, what? I don't know who they sold it to, what they sold for, or how much. But let me just pause this stream real quick. Hey, what's up? I did not know that. Could you close that for me? All right, thanks. Bye. My trunk was open. Oops. So yeah, data protection is an issue, especially in reference to those. Now, what am I trying to say there? I'm trying to say that I am really bad. I am what I want. Right? Uh, yeah, that's basically it. I'm not really sure how you kind of end the stream. I just kind of kept talking because I was bored and I had nothing else to do this afternoon. So yeah, Crunchyroll, count your days because you're gonna be out of money soon. Right? People have no consequence right now to go to alternatives like Netflix, High Dive. Fortunately, pirating is going to increase because you don't know how to stop them from doing things they shouldn't be doing. And the culture in America has near no a way to stop you, right? Um, Honestly, the only thing that a distributor and publisher can do is to stop providing the source material because streaming sites that are pirating would be incapable of providing a any show if they don't get their hands on it. And if it was never released to the public in period, right? You can't. But then you can't yourself profit off it. So it's a lose lose. If you provide it as a service, somebody's going to take it and put it out there for free. I'm sorry, it's the internet. But if you if you were to make sure that it would be the worst possible option to do that with lobbying and all that stuff, which I would disagree with, that would be a better way to maintain profitability. But now you have this issue where you may lose the total volume of people, right? So let's say you have that 15 million, and just let's say one third of that decides to stop. Now you have like 10 million, an increase, but still a loss. What would I say, right? I don't really have an idea, and I don't know if I ever will. But I feel like I need to stop watching anime. Honestly, I do. I feel like I need to stop watching anime. One, because I'm older and I got life, and two, because it's just not worth it anymore. So I'm just kind of in the stream here. I really don't know what to do next. It was fun. Just enjoy.